I am Jovelyn Empillo, a Bachelor of Science in Nursing student of Colegio de Santa Lourdes Foundation Incorporated. And today, we will discuss about taxonomy, its definition and its classifications are the three interrelated areas of taxonomy: the identification, nomenclature, and classification. Then we will discuss also about the domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. What is taxonomy? So, according to Burgess' Manual of Systematic Bacteriology, taxonomy is defined as the classification of all living organisms. So it deals with describing, identifying, classifying the all of the living organisms. So it is subdivided into three parts or interrelated areas. So first is identification, and then classification, and then nomenclature. So let's go first with identification. What is identification? So identification, from the word itself, identify. So meaning it is a process of determining whether an isolate belongs to one of the established group named taxa or represents the previously unidentified species. So identification, gin-identify mo hiya kung nabilong hiya hini na particular area or group, or adto hiyahan mga unidentified species in by nomenclature. So every single recognized species on Earth is given a two-part scientific name. So this system is called binomial nomenclature. So nomenclature, so amitan hit pagngangaran hit mga paghatagin scientific names hit mga organisms. It's nomenclature important. So nomenclature important hiya kay para it mga tao all over the world diri ra nagkakalabon era pag-istorya hit about mga species. The third and the last of the three interrelated areas of taxonomy is classification. So classification is a process of arranging organisms into taxonomic groups known as taxa. So organisms are classified according to their similarities or relationships. So taxa includes domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. So that was the three interrelated parts of or areas of taxonomy. Understand nomenclature. So nomenclature is giving names to specific organism, or giving two names. The first is the specific name, then the second is the scientific name. So I'll give you an example of this. So the rules for binomial nomenclature: the first name should be the genus and it should be capitalized. The second name would be the species and it should be written in lowercase letters. Names should be written in Latin, and since it is written in Latin, it should be italicized or underlined. These are the examples of nomenclature. The first name is the genus, and the second name is the species. Those are the classifications of organisms: the kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. The domain is the highest rank in the classification of organisms in taxonomy. So, um, the domain is subdivided into three different classifications, or the bacteria and archaea, which belongs to the prokaryotes. And as we all know, the prokaryotes are unicellular or single-celled organisms, and they do not have nucleus. And then the third one is the archaea, I mean the eukarya. So the eukarya belongs to the eukaryotes, which are the multicellular organisms that contains nucleus. Are expanded into five kingdoms. So the protista are the single-celled eukaryotes, and the fungi, fungus and related organisms, the plants, the animals, and Bonera or the prokaryotes. Bloom ranks above class and below kingdom. So the largest phylum in the animal kingdom is the arthropod. So it includes crabs, spiders, mites, insects. So those were examples of arthropods. Class organisms are then placed into an order and then a family. So using grasses as an example, from the plant kingdom, they belong to the order Poales or Poles and the family Poaceae. Classifications are genus and species, which I already discussed earlier. All about the taxonomy. So now let's go through a different topic which is still connected with taxonomy. So it is determining relatedness among organisms. So how do scientists determine how closely related one organism is to another? So paano nila nasasabtan kung gaano ka mo ka related or gaano ka mo ka similar? So the most widely used technique in gauging diversity or relatedness is called rRNA sequencing. So, amo ito ginagamit hit aton mga scientists to know if you are closely related to another organism or not. So, our ribosomes is composed of two subunits, the small subunit and the large subunit. So, the small subunit is composed of only one RNA molecule, which is referred to as small subunit or SSURRNA. So the SSURRNA, it in prokaryotic ribosomes is 16S rRNA, while in eukaryotic ribosomes it is 18S rRNA. So the S stands for Svedberg's unit. Codes the 16S RNA contains about 1,500 DNA nucleotides, whereas in the 18S rRNA, it contains about 2,000 DNA nucleotides. To determine relatedness, researchers compare the sequence of nucleotide base pairs in the gene. So, for example, if 16S rDNA sequence of one prokaryotic organism is quite similar to another 16S rDNA sequence of another organism, then they are closely related. While if the 16 16S rDNA sequence of one organism is less similar to another 16S rDNA of another organism, so they are less related to each other. Example, if the 18S rDNA sequence of a human is much more related with the 18S rDNA of a chimpanzee than an 18S rDNA sequence of a fungus. Map the relatedness of organisms, so we are referring to phylogenetic tree of life. So it is generally thought na cells have a less universal common ancestor, or ang mga cells before sinisiring na usalan gin katikangan. So amon adtoan LUCA are the last universal common ancestor. Then it eventually evolved into 3 different cell types. Each contains a domain. So amon natiran tuluan bacteria, archaea, nganhan eukarya. So papakita ko iyo ko. So that is the phylogenetic tree of life, showing the separation of bacteria, archaea, and then eukaryota domain.